Hello, hello, and welcome. All right, all right. It is time that we get into it. I've been trying to do this one for a few days. What's up, y'all? Sorry. I'm the spiritual genie coming at you live with another one. And I always have interesting stuff planned for you guys. And yes, oh my God, the whole world is focused in on the brand right now, right? Russell Brand. Now, a lot of people actually that I asked don't even know who Russell Brand is, which is interesting. People in like the everyday average world, I guess you want to call it. Um, a lot of people lately have been like, who is that? I don't even know. But then online, of course, because a lot of what I do has to do with being on here, we're focusing on what's going on in the world and all that. So let me turn up this light though, because I feel like that's a little too dim. Yeah, so I tried making this one already before and it didn't get removed, but they keep on like messing with me on YouTube. The censorship is so real. So help your girl out and hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe if you love my vibe and want to become part of the tribe. We're going to take a little bit of a different approach tonight. I'm not going to like go into this with, my mind made up, although I feel the evidence I've been finding lately is quite damning, and if you really think about the allegations as well, I think that what's on the table it's pretty bad, right? Hello. um no, I cannot. Not tonight. This is a special live that I am doing about the Russell Brand scandal. Hello. So you'll have to find me on TikTok or a different live for that. I'm the spiritual genie. What's up, y'all? Okay, let's see. Of course, I have to give my take, the spiritual take. You know how it is. I'm your, excuse me. I'm your girl for breaking down the occult symbology and the breakdown of what's going on in the world, right? We cover all kinds of stuff over here. True crime cases. We do also kind of we get into like what's going on in the mainstream, but I help you guys see beyond the veil and help uncover the symbolism around you so that you can get the real skinny, okay? So what the heck is really going on with Russell Brand? I don't know, but I've been learning a lot about this and I've been listening to both sides here, and I'll just say like, this is an interesting situation where there's a massive divide going on in the world in regards to this subject. And I want you guys to always remember that you cannot trust what you see in the mainstream media. You cannot trust celebrities or saviors or false messiahs, as he loves to call himself. We cannot look to man to save us, right? We have to be rid of that savior complex. And keep in mind, when you're coming from a psychological standpoint, certain things like SA and narcissism are actually very, 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 very hard to heal from, if not like almost impossible. So, in the diagnostic manual, like he proclaims himself a narcissist essentially. So the thing about that is like, if you truly feel that you're that, and if you are that, like that is something that is difficult to heal from. And maybe a lot of people like to say like, oh, Russell Brand, like he's healed, he's doing so much good, he's speaking on all these issues that matter. But is he really speaking on all these issues that matter, or is he just speaking on things that like we already know about? And is it that just because he's a celebrity and he's charming and he can woo the pants off any woman, does he not also deserve to be investigated? Yes. And does he also deserve a fair trial on top of that? Oh, yeah. Like, we all deserve that in this country. Like, where does he even live? Is he in the UK? I don't know, but he at least deserves a fair trial, right? Like, I can't say for sure. I know that I feel the allegations are, like he even says, quite serious. But there's just more going on here. Like from a reading that I did recently and all the research I've been doing, I think that it all speaks for itself. So let's just dive right in. Let's get into the occult symbology. And where do we want to start? Let me pull up and share with you. I'm gonna have to be really careful tonight that I don't share anything that's, I don't share anything that's gonna get me in trouble. I have to be super careful on here now. It's like getting demonetized left and right. And you know what? Oh well, though. I think if it means bringing the truth, I guess it is what it is, right? Oh, we're gonna make some interesting connections right now. Okay, y'all. Listen. Oh, what's this? Okay, so right there we have an illustration that is an illustration of from a book that Russell Brand actually wrote. And you know how I do breaking down symbolism and whatnot. Like I started seeing all kinds of things in my research recently. And one of the things I noticed was this interview with Russell Brand on a show where he was talking about a book he wrote, The Two Tricksters, The Pied Piper of Hamelin, right? And I thought, like, okay, yeah, it seems innocent enough. It's just a child's tale of this Pied Piper of Hamelin. But then if you look a little deeper, there's actually a more sinister story behind the Pied Piper of Hamelin, actually. It's not as innocent as it appears to be. And there's some significant symbolism standing out like right away. If you noticed my thumbnail, you probably already had a little bit of an idea of what I was going to talk about here. Freemasonry, Russell Brand, the connection to potentially even, like we're going to look at maybe the conversation that Russell Brand has had with Jimmy Savile. I'm not going to talk too much about what he does, but go ahead and look it up if you're curious. So that, and we're gonna get even deeper into like the real, like the deep, thick occult symbolism around, everything I've been noticing in regards to Russell Brand and what's going on and what's coming out right now. So hold on, because this is going to get weird, guaranteed. All right, so if you'll notice right away, you see this character, right? Here's the main character, the Pied Piper of Ham says and Russell Brand's childhood reinvention. So Neil Gaiman, yeah, he writes also really amazing and really beautiful graphic novels. They're probably laden with tons of occult symbolism, I would guarantee, as is this book right here. So his outfit has the black and white checkerboard on it, if you can notice. His belt is also black and white. Some might say, like, okay, that's fine. Like, no big deal. But I mean, the black and white checkerboard is definitely a theme in Freemasonry. Let's see if I have a picture right here that I can show you guys. Everything's loading very slowly tonight. Anyway, so the black and white checkerboard representing duality, the masculine and feminine principles. This is a very common symbology that you see in regard to Freemasonry. Okay. So you have that right there on the outfit. I'm not going to say that it does mean that. I'm just going to say that that is a theme in Freemasonry. It's not that that's what he was alluding to right here, but maybe it was. I'll tell you why I kind of think so as we continue on here. So here's the Pied Piper, right? Playing his little song, playing the flute, like, oh, seems innocent. But the original story is actually, I think the character in the original story, the Pied Piper, the Piper representing the Pan, right? The Pan god, the masculine god, and a lot of pagan worship. If like you also notice this character looks a lot like Russell Brand. He'll attest to that himself. He'll say that the reason why it looks a lot like him is because the character is based off of him, and it's also based off of the Droogs from A Clockwork Orange, Stanley Kubrick. So if you are familiar with that film was banned in like several countries for many years, as a matter of fact. And I think in England, it was banned for like 27 years or something like that. A long time. So you wouldn't want to base the main character of a child's story on this character from an adult movie that commits acts of R and SA and just blatant acts of vandalism and as much chaos causing as possible. That's what the Droogs do. They're a group of punks in Stanley Kubrick's movie, A Clockwork Orange, that go around town and they just go and cause chaos. That's what they are about. So he said that this character is loosely based on him and Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange characters, the Droogs, who are RESAE, Red Rummers. And then the Pied Piper. So basically, the story goes that the Pied Piper goes to the town of Hamlin and they have a rat problem. And so they employ him to remove the rats from their town. And so he uses his flute, as you can see here, his hypnotic flute, to somehow lure the rats out of the town. And I just saw 1155 angel numbers, lure the rats out of town. And so he does it. And then he goes back and they don't pay him. So they don't pay him. And of course, he gets a little upset about that. So what does he do for retribution? He takes his flute and he leads all of the town's children out of the town into a cave, never to be seen again. And Russell Brand's own words, as an interviewer is asking him, you know, the character looks like you, Russell Brand. And he's like, yeah, it is based off of me. And she's like, oh, like in what way? And he explains that the character is based off of him in the way that he associates with this trickster energy. He calls himself a trickster. Exactly. So I just want to remind you guys, nothing is what it seems, right? I kind of have a feeling that Russell represents something like controlled opposition here. And it's kind of what I felt since the beginning. I've thought it's really all perfect. It's probably all true. Like he probably did it. And also the media is probably blowing this up right now for some reason. Maybe it is because he's getting too close. You know, I just thought 1313. I don't know. That's a Masonic number. So I also did a reading on him though, and I'll say like the reading was interesting, and we'll do another one. But he came out as like a puppet on strings in the reading, and there was a lot of energy around, you know, larger forces at play, kind of working here, puppeting the bigger picture, right? Puppeting him for a larger picture, a larger cause. So I did that reading, but I'll probably do another one. And I really think that all of this coming out right now, though, it does have something to do with distracting us away from a bigger picture. I will say that. What it is, I'm pretty sure I know. And I'll share it with you guys, but I do want to do another live about that altogether. I do believe that this is actually masking the weather warfare that's happening around the globe at this time, to take away our attention off of Maui and off of all of the horrendous disasters that are going on around the world. I truly feel like this is the ultimate psyop, and I don't really trust any of these like public figureheads, if I'm being honest, or the government, because these public figureheads, these celebrities, influencers, if you will, they're like they're very, when they're political, you kind of know like they're bought and paid for in a way. And maybe it seems as though Russell Brand has been disconnecting from Hollywood, and maybe he has. Like, I don't really know. I'm not here to like make a decision left or right. I'm just here to post theories and bring up actually factual evidence that I've been finding in my research. So, right already in the character that Russell Brand created as the main character for his book, The Pied Piper of Hamlin, where the Pied Piper leads the town's children into a cave, never to be seen again at the end of the book. which he fails to mention in an interview. Trickster with this black and white checkerboard outfit, you know, a lot of heavy symbolism going on in this character of his book. So I think if you listen to what Russell Brand talks about, what he jokes about, I mean, a lot of people like to say that his jokes are going to age like milk. And they do. When you go and look back and you see these type of accusations on him happening, and then you actually watch the interviews of all of the hella pervy things that he has said, I mean, it kind of does line up. So, you know, like I said, I'm not really here to convince anyone of anything. I think I'm pretty good at finding evidence to piece together the mysteries I'm curious about. Like, just by looking at the main character of the story in the book he wrote, I mean, it tells you quite a bit. This character is a kidnapper, you know? Sorry, but he is. And then in another interview, which I can't even show a video of because it had issues the last time I did that. You know, he's got his neighbor kids on this show where he's being interviewed. He aggressively pulls them up onto his lap, I'll just say, and they are both uncomfortable visibly. The little boy's crying. He's trying to kind of get away. He wants to go back to his mommy. And Russell Brand's like, oh, you love me, don't you? When I'm mayor, my slogan's going to be leave your kids with me. And he also says, no, it's not even another thing that he says. It's a hand gesture that's happening in the video. The little girl becomes really uncomfortable with his hand on her, and she even like moves the hand away. And I'm not going to say any more about it. Maybe you can find it on your own. I could probably actually show you the video, but not the actual video. Like I'll show it to you, but not this picture really quick. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. So if we're talking about symbolism, you know, and putting together puzzle pieces, like their symbolism will be their undoing, and I will tell you that much. This is nothing to do with Jesus. The fact that he is using this, he's smoking in the picture is, what is that, a cigarette or a cigar in his hand? And you want to say that no, that isn't very Christ-like. I'm sorry, but you have the number 33 in the background, and you have all these political-looking white dudes in suits. He's holding a book, and you wonder what the book is that he's holding, right? Wow, 3 in here right now, 33 right there. So he's got tattooed on him 33. His tour that's just coming out is 33. And all of a sudden, all this stuff just happens to be coming out in the media. Not to say he's not guilty. I'm sure I can't really say how I feel about it. But the symbolism will be their undoing, right? No. Russell Brand is a 33rd degree Freemason. This has nothing to do with Jesus. I don't care what he says. I'm kind of tired of people out there being like, oh, he's reformed. He's this, he's that. You don't know what he is. He's a public figure that is actually mainstream. He's pretty mainstream. He may seem like he's going against the mainstream, but he's not. None of the stories that Russell Brand is posting on his YouTube channel aren't stories that some other YouTuber probably didn't post a couple days before his channel posted it. You think he doesn't have a whole team out there just looking for the next story to go ahead and speak on? And because it's Russell Brand and he has a platform that's huge, like he's going to get anyone to come on his show, obviously. Please. But anyway, I digress. The 33 here is strong Masonic symbolism. We have Masonic symbolism popping up all over the place with this guy. And he has the audacity to say that he's not. But then he does make jokes about the Illuminati and reptilians, and I'm probably not even allowed to say that word without getting like flagged, but you know what I'm saying? So, okay, he jokes about all kinds of things, and I kind of think that if you just pay attention to what's right in front of you, like it will all kind of make sense. So let's look at some more symbolism. If you don't believe me, yeah. Here we have the more threes, right? 33, 33. Even look at the one over on the, I think that would be his right wrist or left, depending on how you're going to look at that. That is actually like, that does look like Masonic. It almost kind of looks similar to like a Hebrew text, I'll say. So he would be like, oh yeah, Jesus, like that's the thing. Like Jesus died when he was 33 or whatever. But no, like 33 is like, it's significant number because that's the highest ranking degree in Freemasonry that exists. And if you'll notice his speech and how he talks about the false Messiah, you'll notice how he talks about I am God. I've always felt fascinated by that theory. Like in my own spiritual pursuit, I've come to realize like all things exist within God and all things are God. However, we as humans are not the makers, the creator, the destroyer of all the things, right? We are subject to the laws of life and higher principles, karma, but people like RB over here, self-proclaimed prophet, whatever, um, anti-capitalist millionaire, guru. No, I would not call him my guru. I'm sorry, but just saying. So I've heard a lot of indicators in his speech as well. Like he was talking about the child's book and he said something about duty and he said community and he also said love. And I was thinking, what in the world? Like I have heard that in regard to Freemasonry. Hold on, let me get my Freemason Bible. And I started looking up the code of Freemasonry. I probably actually have that. Let's see. I think it might be this one. I think I have this tab ready to go. Yes. Okay. So I heard Russell Brand when he was talking about his book over here, the one with all this Masonic symbolism, tons of it. Like it's spilling over, and the fact that the theme of the book is about kidnapping, I mean, I kind of can't. And pulling in your neighbor's kids up on your lap and touching them in a way that is obviously making them uncomfortable. I mean, I don't know, but he's a celebrity. He's charming. Just forget about all of that. Just forget about everything that you've seen because Russell Brand is charming and he is handsome. And wouldn't you just love to have a piece of that? Freemasonic, they're all into some weird stuff because the root and the basis of Freemasonry is rooted in Luciferianism. I'm sorry. They worship Lucifer, the fallen angel. There's a connection between aliens and angels as well, you guys. I want to let you know. Like, there's a connection between like the Anunnaki, like the fallen angels and the aliens and the, Enli and all this stuff, the makers of human beings, and people like Russell Brand know these secrets. When you're a 33rd degree, high ranking Freemason, which I 100% believe that this guy is, and that is why he has 33 tattooed on him, and that is why all this Masonic symbolism is him. And I will show you some other symbolism that's actually quite odd and disturbing. Okay, look, what kind of Christ loving man wears upside down crosses? Just look at his shirt. I'm not going to show videos in this because I'll just get censored like I have been nonstop. But if you look at his shirt, y'all, maybe I can zoom in. Hold on, let's see. Can I zoom? Let me zoom. So they have these matching tattoos that are written in Hebrew, right? And I do believe like could make sense that Russell Brand could have been like the handler of Katy Perry. No, like she got insanely famous after they were like when they were together, and he also got insanely famous after they were together, and some other really weird stuff about that. But look at the upside down crosses on his shirt. I mean, I'm going to continue to point out all the symbolism and you can make up your own mind, but those are upside down crosses on his shirt. Why would you wear that if you actually love Jesus? Would you? Would any of you? Tell me right now. Tell me in the chat, if y'all love Jesus out there, would you be rocking upside down crosses on your clothing? Please tell me in the chat what you think about that. Hit it with a 1 if you would rock it. Hit it with a 2 if no way. Here's a prime example of just the gaslighting that they love to do. Like, oh no, look, because I have a Jesus tattoo over here. This 33 has nothing to do with me being a Mason, even though I'll show you tons of other symbolism around why I truly believe that he is. And we're gonna get into some weird stuff tonight. Look at that for a second. Okay, where were we at? We were over here. Here we go. Bear with me, y'all. Sorry for that. Okay. So, children's book that he wrote. We'll get into another book that he wrote that was more of a biography where he talks about kicking his family dog. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that next, but we're just getting into all the bookies, the bookie poos the Russell Brand has written and the symbolism that I can pretty much pick out of. And I'm going to show you right here. This website that we're looking at is called www.midnightfreemasons.org. It says Masonic duty. And Night Freemasons, a group of master masons, talk about topics of mason interest, each from their own unique perspective. You'll find a wide range of subjects, including history, trivia, travel, book reviews, da, 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 da. But let me tell you, we'll never find the full truth just right out there in the open. No way. What the heck is playing? This was just playing in another tab. It's crazy stuff. So you will never find the truth right out there with the Freemasons. Everything that they do is super secret, super hidden, super veiled. You have to be well researched and well versed and learned in symbolism and all of this esoteric history in order to understand what they're about. And so I've done that and I've figured it out because I've heard them refer to things in the book Morals and Dogma, which has every single level of Freemasonry in it. And I have that book and it has all of the levels of Masonry. And I don't think that there's a 33rd in the book, though. I'm not sure, but I'll have to see if I can find that book. What the heck? I did something with it. I thought I had it right over here. And I wanted to show it to you guys. Shoot. But anyway, they talk about the false light in that book. And the false light, if anyone knows, has to do with, Venus, the morning star. Who's the morning star? Lucifer. So who is Lucifer? Also a fallen angel. What do I believe the fallen angels to be? The draconians, essentially. And from what Russell Brand, the way he jokes about the reptilians, I'm just going to say he calls them these energetic beings. And I've come to realize that I understand exactly what they are now. And I've even had my own experience with these entities. So I'm quite familiar with what they are and how they operate. But, if you really listen, comedians joking, they will tell you the truth. People who are in the club, they'll tell you the truth, but they won't say certain things. They won't. But somebody who did say something, which actually struck me, was Princess Diana. Before she passed away, she had said that there were members of the royal family that were not human. Now, I'm not making that up. You can go and look that up. She's definitely said that on actually more than one occasion. So there are forces at play here that I think most human beings just don't understand fully. And in a way, it's hard to convey and it's hard to almost like show the connections. And there's a reason why I'm not in the club in this life. It's so I can actually kind of do this. I feel like Socrates was like this. He was poisoned in the end for doing exactly what I'm doing right now, basically exposing the secrets of the Brotherhood. So sorry, guys, but a lot of people will just think I'm crazy anyway. But let me get my tinfoil hat and I digress. So I heard Russell Brand mention duty, community, and love when he was talking about his little child story that has to do with kidnapping and a lot of Masonic symbolism and also symbolism from Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. And I'm going to show you that Stanley Kubrick is also a Freemason. So the fact that he would base his book off of characters from a Stanley Kubrick movie, and Stanley Kubrick also happens to be a high-ranking Freemason, like the connections are so easy to find if you simply just look. I don't know. I don't know why people want to make it seem like such a crazy thing like conspiracy and all that, but whatever. Yeah, if being a conspiracy theorist makes you a free thinker and you're a critical thinker and somebody who steps outside of the box and you're a philosopher and you really question everything, then fine, whatever. Label me as what you will. I don't really care. So here we go. In Freemasonry, we learn that the symbols and allegories. Do you guys know what allegories are? An allegory, like all of the allegories in the Bible, I'm sorry to say, like a lot of the stories in the Bible are allegories. That's why I can't quite say that I'm ever going to convert to, like, I'm more of a mystic Christian, if anything, but like I can knock it down with the indoctrination. Like, I think that just blindly following anything, even if it is, I'm sorry to say, like the Bible, like just blindly following anything that has been adapted by men and been reinterpreted and readapted and also just rewritten so many times is kind of weird to me. Like anytime that that book has been rewritten, anyone could have just written anything into it that they want. The ultimate connection to God and source does lie within you. It doesn't lie in any exterior thing, in any book, in anything outside of yourself. I'm sorry to say. So I've been doing a lot of deep interpersonal soul searching lately. I've been doing research into other cultures, into religions, into like secret societies and symbolism and all this stuff. And like my third eye is opening and so much is becoming clear to me. But what is becoming most clear to me is that in these end times, in these last days, we cannot rely on anything outside of ourselves other than our own inner light, our guiding wisdom, our intuition. Okay. So never underestimate your own inner wisdom, you guys. I'm here to tell you that. Anyone who tells you any different is a false prophet. Is a false prophet. I'll hand it to you, Russell Brand. Russell Brand does try to teach people like, hey, like I am God, you are God, these I don't know what it is with these men. Like men get this ego complex and then they want to think like you supersede God. No, you exist within God. You're not above God. You are not creating all of this. We're all creating this, yes, but at the same time, we're subject to higher laws and higher principles. We're all a part of the oneness. God is the one, the all, and we're all existing within that. And you're existing within that too, Russell Brand. Okay. So don't try and act like you're above that. Everyone wants to act like he's doing such a good job, but I will tell you that I've never actually seen him cry. I've seen him visit a third world country. I've seen him go and pick trash off the ground with little African children. And I did not see him ever once shed a tear. What did he do? He went right back to America to his partner, Katy Perry. They went to all these fancy parties and like fashion shows and all this stuff and hung out with all the, what do you call them? Man, I wish I had words sometimes. Oh, all of the, oh my God, the word just slipped away. I totally had it. Um, Let's move on. Anyway, sorry guys. I'll probably pretentious. Heck. All the pretentious people, right? And I heard him say some grandiose thing too. I think it was like his manager or someone, I don't know who he was talking to at the time, but he was talking about, what he had learned and realized from visiting those kids in Africa. And at no point was he ever like, I want to help those kids. Like, let me figure out how I can like help these people. Can I send them money? Can I give them research? What can I do? Can we build a school? Like, can we build a hospital? No, he was like, I want to create this utopian world by speaking to people and like becoming spiritual and like I'm going to change my ways and it was like, hold on a minute. Like this is just sounds like some grandiose, like narcissistic BS. I'm sorry, but like dude, all these richies act philanthropic, but at the end of the day like they're really just protecting their own self-interest. It could make sense that Russell Brand has been building a following of people over the years that would support him should any of these things come out and that wouldn't believe once he's finally got them firmly rooted in the controlled opposition that I truly believe that he is. I have to make sure I don't have lipstick on my teeth. Sorry, guys. I had lipstick on my teeth earlier. My sister was like, girl. Okay, so he was talking about duty, community, and love in regards to his book that has tons of Freemasonic symbolism. The characters based off Stanley Kubrick's Droogs from A Clockwork Orange. Stanley Kubrick, I believe, is a Freemason. I'll show you why I think that. Russell Brand says he's not. He says the 33s and all the 33s that he's rocking have nothing to do with it. Don't believe it. In Freemasonry, we learn that symbols and allegories taught in our Blue Lodge are to convey to us our duty. A Freemason's duty is one that should be a duty shared by all, the duty of improving himself, his family, his neighbor, and his society, so that he may be a better man and the world may be a better place because of his contributions. Okay, but like who's the judge of that or how you determine what is better for everybody? Like it sounds a little egotistical, but hold on, let's go. That wasn't what I wanted to read. There was like one little part here that mentioned all three. Oh, the virtues. As mentioned above, there are those in our society who perform a duty. They go to work to achieve this duty. As noble as their duty is, it does eventually end. Our Masonic duty, however, stays with us for a lifetime. We are placed here to live a virtuous life, to extend these virtues to others who may follow it, and to do good works for society as a whole. Yeah, okay. Hold on here. So the point is symbolically he used these three terms, using three terms to describe virtues of being a Mason, essentially. Okay. Improving himself, his family, his neighbor, his society. So there you have community, right? You have duty, community there. And what else was the other one? His relationship with God, quest of perfection, which may not be achieved in this lifetime. Okay, it's all very shrouded in secrecy, but let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next slide. Maybe I can find the Stanley Kubrick one. Man, I wish my computer wasn't going so slow. It kind of sucks. I have all these tabs open, and we're going to go in an interesting direction with all of this. So let's not forget that the symbolism is the undoing. Right? Like, I can't play any video clips like I did the last time. Not, although I have some really interesting ones right here. Oops, don't play, don't you dare. It's almost like, I don't know, I almost feel like the frequencies are really trying to mess with me on this one, because every time I try to do this, something is going wrong. Ah, it's playing. What is it doing? Oh, okay. So, oh my God, pause. Yeah, my stuff's like, it's almost like they know I'm about to making this live, and the powers that be like don't want this coming out. Okay, this video was going into detail about how at one point, and they'll say it was just like she had this blood situation in her eye, but like, okay, people done saw the queen doing like a shape shifting thing on TV, and apparently, as they were posting it on Twitter, it was just being like taken down. So, kind of weird. Russell Brand's connection to bring up his assistant naked, I just thought was like pretty telling as well. Like, could you get any more telling? Like, Jimmy Savile turned out to be like one of the hugest creeps to ever live. Not even creep, like what a horrible person. What a horrible person, you know? And the fact that you would say something like, "Oh, I'll offer up my assistant to her naked." No, take my assistant. That's what he says to him. Take my assistant. Take her. Like, he'll do whatever I want, whatever I say. Essentially. Oh, you want her to not wear clothes? Fine. Like, easy. Might just need to close some of these dang tabs for this to work. You guys, bear with me now. And if this doesn't work, I don't know. I think I might just just scrap this one, because whatever. There's such more on behind the scenes, and there's really quite a lot. I think at this point in time, I'm looking at, it's pretty easy to sway people's vision, like to just sway their attention. Actually, I'll say it's actually, I don't want to hear his voice right now. Okay, it's like nails on chalkboard. So if you can see this picture in front of you right here, Russell Brand, like this is him on tour. I think I think this is his new tour. At least it's one of the recent ones, and he's wearing this robe. And it's not the best picture. This wasn't the one I was looking at before, but it is a picture of him on stage wearing this robe. And the robe was giving me ceremonial vibes. And I was thinking like, I wonder what kind of robes like Freemasons wear, right? I wonder if that robe has a hood. I don't think it does, but still, I'm going to show you something interesting. The robe has a sash going around. It's this charcoal gray color, right? It's shiny. It's kind of cool. It's pretty. Like he dresses different, right? He's definitely got this more like bohemian look going on nowadays as he's found meditation and spirituality and cured himself of his narcissism. So this robe just evoked for me like it definitely evoked and so I started things where let's see what's this? Share instead. Okay. So you have some of the different degrees right here. You have candidate. It's this one says basic officer's robe. You can tell that one kind of looks like a priest, right? Check it out. That one kind of looks like a priest, interestingly enough. You've got the Freemason, one of the Freemason ceremonial, what the heck? Robes looking a lot like the robes that are traditional priests wear. So wow, looking kind of creepy. With the veiled look, basic hood and veiled robes. You have the little rope sash right here, so you can't see it in the picture I was showing you of Russell Brand, but there is like a little rope sash that's actually going around the waist. So I thought that looked quite similar to these robes. You might think it's a stretch, but I mean, are all these things stretches? I've already pointed out like many similarities, okay? I do believe also Nancy Pelosi recently used the term like reptilian in an interview and said something like along the lines of she's a reptile. I don't know. I can't make this stuff up, you guys. And like, okay, that look, I think there's a level of truth to like all jokes, right? Where was that one that I was just on? Okay, F this article. That article that I just closed was like Daily Mail, and it said something about Russell Brand admitting to like humiliating one of his female I don't know, maybe she was an employee or something like that. This thing says Russell Brand joked on stage that he AR'd someone once 10 years before investigation. Oh, it's just a joke, like no big deal. I mean, but so the joke didn't really stop at the R thing. It actually continued on to say, hey, unalived her. Ha 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 ha. Super crazy. What a thing to joke about, no? Hilarious. Kind of sounded like he was being like, oh, I can't believe I just said that. Like, bet you wish that this wouldn't stuff right now because my computer's just so bad. But you can see that that's clearly what that's saying. So it says Russell Brand once joked about Ring and ending the life of a woman in an on-stage interview 10 years before U cops confirmed Monday. Whoops. Having SEX with KIDS. What? And homeless people. Okay. No, there's some looking back now and with everything that's coming to light, if you see these things and you kind of don't put two and two together, I really don't know what to say about that. This isn't going to be the live that I wanted it to be because my SH is going so dang slow. Let's see what's all this. Here we go. Should look at a little bit more symbolism. When I look at this, just Illuminati hand signs, it's crazy what it pulls up. Like, dang, it just literally pulls up so many instances where look at the Beyonce and Jay-Z. Yeah, we're not in the Illuminati as they're just rocking all these occult symbols. You have the left eye of Ra here, the eye of Horus, right? The all-seeing eye that is commonly used in Freemasonry, essentially. Hence why you have it on the money. Okay. So all those celebrities covering their eyes. Why would that be? This makes 6 around the eye. Like, oh, but we're conspiracy theorists. Yeah. No way. Look at that. Look at all these. Oh, there's Russell Brand right there making the sabbatical goat horns right here next to Tom Cruise. Okay. And I actually didn't even type his name in on this one. I just typed in Illuminati hand signs, and guess what popped up? You have all these celebrities over here rocking that 666 around the left eye. The left eye is the left eye of Horus, the left eye of Ra. In mythology, the left eye of Ra gets gouged out by his evil brother Set in a battle against good and evil, right? The horns of the goat are the sabbatical goat horns, the Baphomet. There we have Russell Brand rocking that Baphomet sabbatical goat horns. What's up? But I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though. It must be. I don't think. Also, joking about having sex with kids and R-ing and killing women. Those are also just jokes that are hilarious. I don't really find them funny. I kind of like slapstick humor a little bit more. I don't know. I like just like funny, goofy, silly. He's intelligent. I'll give him that. The man is. He's charming as can be. Oh, you're not even seeing what I'm seeing. Oh, let's see this one. Yeah, we were. So he's charming. Yeah, I'll give him that. But I mean, how charming is it if you know what's behind it? What if all this nefarious stuff is behind it? Do you know like some of the key so in Satanism, actually, I believe that they do believe in being polyamorous. They believe in having multiple partners. I think there might even be some stuff about like with kids, I'm not even going to say it. It's kind of like everything that is upside down, reversed, and backwards is acceptable within that religious delineation. I always thought Russell Brand has such a way of speaking, right? Like he entrances people. They admit that. And the reason why is he talks about the third eye a lot. He admits that he can entrance you because he is aware of the infinite nature of consciousness. Row, row, row your boat. Life is but a dream. Merrily, merrily. Oh, wait. How does it go? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream. This is a dream that we're living in. This reality is more like a simulation, and they know that. And they know how to play with energy. And at the 33rd level, you're actually marrying some pretty advanced magical concepts, right? Occult concepts regarding the pineal gland, the third eye, psychic abilities. Somebody who's aware and conscious, like it's not that hard for them to go ahead and use their third eye to control others. It's really not. Like this says neuroscience shows psychopaths can use emotional intelligence to cause harm. This is how to protect yourself. So they can tend to be like really good at speaking. They can be very good at also creating these false personas, right? These like false masks, as my thumbnail was alluding to. Empathy. This says a fascinating experiment shows how psychopaths can use empathy to charm their victims. Learned empathy, right? It's not like it's definitely not an authentic empathy. It's a learned situation. So I will say, like the story of Russell Brand talking about, his own book, talking about how he would torment the family dog, kick it down the stairs after he invited it up there, and then scold it for going up the stairs, and then do it to it again, like killing. Maybe his rats died of a strange thing as well, supposedly accidental. Mom had to send him away to boarding school. I mean, I'm not going to say because he was a kid the things he did makes him guilty now, but collectively over all your life, you put these behaviors together and a bigger picture does begin to form, and you see that there could definitely be underlying themes of like maybe even psychopathy here. I'm just saying. Very charming. They're very charming. You would never know. There are people like the BTK killer, like I've mentioned, who just went like for 30 years, 35 years, 30 plus years, just living in plain sight. Nobody had any freaking clue. You're just a normal guy looking like a suburban, a dad and just a husband. It's crazy. It's crazy how a psychopath can mimic and do that so well. This says for most of us, it evokes the term psychopath evokes images of serial killers or mass murderers, but the complex disorder known as psychopathy, which is traditionally characterized by a list of traits including antisocial behavior, arrogance, deceitfulness, and a lack of emotional empathy, is actually more common than most people think. This list of traits may sound like the complete opposite of what you normally think of when you hear the term emotional intelligence. The ability to identify, understand, and manage emotions. We generally think of emotionally intelligent persons as kind and helpful. But a member of psychologists have also highlighted the dark side of emotional intelligence, how a person could use their knowledge of emotions to strategically achieve self-serving goals with little or no concern for others. So let me ask you something. This raises a question. Is there such a thing as an emotionally intelligent psychopath? And apparently there is. And so let me ask you, if somebody is a psychopath and they have no sense of empathy and they have no sense of what I'm doing is wrong because it's all about me and I don't care what other people think, they're all just like a part of my reality and I'm God living in it. Would somebody like that really have qualms about like making up an entirely fake persona and getting millions of followers and amassing a huge fortune and completely tricking people into thinking that you're not something that you are? Like, why, if somebody is truly a psychopath, like, why would they have qualms about doing something like that? They absolutely wouldn't. And they don't, because that's how they get their needs met as a psychopath, right? I saw an interview. I'm telling you, like, his eyes turned into snake eyes, and I'm not even joking. Okay. I already read this article the other day to you guys, and those of you that were here last time already saw it, but it does say like the grim truth behind the Pied Piper. So I wasn't just talking out my butt. Like the Pied Piper, the story like that Russell Brand wrote, that he said he based his trickster character, a trickster, right? Somebody who poses as to be something that they're not. Controlled opposition. Doesn't it make sense that the powers that be would have a controlled opposition? Yes, they would, because they would look almost as like a game of cat and mouse, right? Oh, I'm more intelligent. I'm more intellectually superior than everybody, than 7 million people. Look at all these people who just think that I'm the cat's meow, and really I'm playing a whole trick on them because I am a trickster, because I am like this Pied Piper, because I do base myself off of Stanley Kubrick's freaking, or he identifies and connects with the Droogs from Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange, for crying out loud. Sorry, I'm trying to close some of these freaking tabs. I didn't want to close that one, but I have to because maybe we can actually have this running a little more smooth. Right here, I had Masonic Temple Reborn at 100. Do we need that? Like it could. Dang, they don't want me doing this live, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm just like, I'm bringing the symbolism a little too much. Even someone find, let me just clean this over, y'all. It's crazy. Okay. Writers like the Grimm brothers and Robert Browning may have shaped the Piper legend into art, but it turns out the story is likely based on an actual historical incident. Really creepier than I thought. Might even be based on some real thing. Okay. Yeah, we already went over that. But anyway, we realized that at the end of the story, right, the Piper leads the children potentially away from the town, never to be seen again, as retribution for not getting paid. Okay. I thought it was real creepy. It all kind of like ties back into this, like the jokes that like he make about the reptilians and like what these beings even are. And when I try to explain to people, you know, the possibility of like the alien psyops, I mean, we can all open our eyes to the fact that the governments of the world are coming out right now talking about alien bodies and whatnot. And they are pretending that they don't know as much as they do know. They know so much more. And we shouldn't really be concerned. And this is even what Tom DeLonge from Blink 182, who's part of the UFO cult, psyop, meant to distract us, like the alien bodies that they showed, because it's not like that. It ain't like that. They probably do have like crashed UFOs, who knows, but they have way more than that. So, and there are beings that have been here since the absolute beginning. I truly believe that had probably a lot to do with the seeding of human beings. And they've been here all along. And I need to plug in my laptop because it's going to die. Why is this like Groundhog Day? I'm going to tell you guys what. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. So it's more likely than not that, you know, they're really taking us for a ride, and that like they're pretending like they don't know way more than they already know. And Tom DeLonge of Blink 182 says very clearly in this whole interview where he's talking all about UFOs and aliens and all the government people that he's been working with and, you know, brainstorming with over the years, that he got introduced to through his being a celebrity or whatever. I don't even know, all connected to some other deeper stuff involving all of that. But he comes right out and says, like, you know, when he had the chance to ask the high ups about UFOs and stuff, he's like, no, like I've already pondered all of this. Like, we're not gonna find UFOs by just getting in a spaceship and like traveling like into outer space, because things probably exist at different vibrational frequencies in different dimensions. But, you know, he was like, I want to know about the beings that have been here all along. And that's the biggest secret. He won't freaking say reptilians. And, you know, even Russell Brand will reptilians. Oh, what do you mean about that? Oh, do you mean, if you mean like these energetic beings from another dimension that what? You know, these hybridized people know for thousands of years how to do certain ceremonial rituals to get these beings to inhabit their bodies. Like, it's some deep magic that it's just, unfortunately, the veil is so strong over certain people's eyes. It's so thick. It's so heavy. You know, they haven't been able to like see past the programming yet. But there are people like me who are running the front lines trying to help open everyone's third eyes that I come into contact with. And I don't do it in a forceful way. I just offer them like, hey, you know, like, what if, like, let me ask you, like, what if this, you know? When then explaining a little bit about the symbolism, it all kind of, like I said, it all kind of like ties in. So whatever, enough with all that. I want to pull up this picture of, no, maybe not that one. Let's go with this. So it's funny that you guys said he's not your type, because he looks exactly like my ex. Like, I swear they could be like brothers or something. Like, it's freaking creepy. Like, he looks just like him. It's an archetype though, I'm telling you. So I want to get some tarot cards, actually. I thought I'm going to start with tarot for him. Maybe we'll get clarifiers. But where's those tarot cards? Earlier. Here we go. Like, nothing is where I freaking know where it is right now. Yes, I did also hear that. I did also hear that, like, when he entered into whatever altered state he was in, that the eyes glazed over before he done what he done. So who knows? It's all speculation, and it's all speculative at this point. We don't really know because we don't have facts, but all we can look at is all of the things that we've already seen in regard to Russell Brand, all the things that he said out of his own mouth. We can look at the symbolism, and from there, you can know, like, because these guys are never going to come out and tell you the truth. Like, they're not going to tell you they're in a secret society, like, da 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 da. Why would they expose themselves in that way? No, they wouldn't. 7 of Cups. See? Illusions. We've got the 7 of Cups as I cut the deck, and that is a card of illusions, okay? Illusions. And then we have the Queen of Cups. Like, hey, look at me. Not so bad. Oh. 10 of Pentacles. Ooh, money. Wow, we have the checkerboard floor coming through with the 10 of Pentacles. We do have money. We also have a game being played on the back of whoever this is. I'm noticing the color blue, and I'm just going to kind of point out that his connection to the left, right? He is a more left-leaning, apparently a libertarian, I think. Yeah, the energies have been crazy lately. Like, even just doing this is intense. Like, I'm just pretty determined to get this out there. I think this whole thing has probably barely even made any sense. I've done better presentations, y'all, but okay, Holy Spirit, we need to see what's going on with Russell Brand. Please show me what is going on with Russell Brand here. The 10 of Pentacles does give me a heavy emphasis on money vibes, though, I will say. Like, money, finances, a game being played here in order to make more money, to become rich. I'm getting that checkerboard Freemasonic vibe. Oh, the little doll is clutching a, wow. The little doll is clutching a, or the little boy or whatever that this game is being played on the back of is clutching like a, oh my gosh. Like a little doll that looks kind of almost demonic. Why am I doing it like that? Hold on, let me make me bigger. Girl, me too. Especially musicians. I have a weak spot, I'm not gonna lie. Not anymore, though. I'm like, don't bring me anyone that, unless they just want to play music for me only. I'm just kidding. No, I love music as well. Music is like, seriously, I love music. But we got the 3 of Swords here, okay? Which is interesting. Interesting. 3, huh? 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. Karmic energy. Huh, karmic energy popping up for Russell Brand with that 3 of Swords. Like, feeling run through. The 3 of Swords is a victim mentality, though. Like, I don't care what anyone ever says. Like, if you're in that 3 of Swords energy, you're potentially in this victim mentality. I got the Hierophant here. Hierophant. I did pull the Hierophant in reverse the other day, though, you guys, which I thought was real interesting. So, I'm going to even take that into account right now. But we got the Hierophant, so a spiritual leader. Look at the checkerboard. The checkerboard. This does indicate like higher knowledge, right? This indicates like a spiritual leader or a teacher. In its reverse position, it could be a false prophet. Could be. You have somebody that does understand about like higher concepts in life, though, duality, about like universal truths. This is someone who, has such coming off as this Messiah energy, but there is a strong connection to money here for him, like with the 10 of Pentacles. He's feeling like, I feel like he's feeling pretty run through right now, though. Maybe like, even if this is a ritual, even if this is a humiliation ritual, like, you're still going to feel it. You know what I mean? You're still going to feel it. But I feel like he feels a victim. Like, he hasn't really done anything wrong here with that 3 of Swords and the Hierophant. Like, oh, I'm standing, like, maybe he's standing by. It's justifying standing by. 9 of Wands. Wearing a mask, but the 9 of Wands, feeling like, so the 9 of Wands is like feeling like, oh, maybe the worst is like behind me now. So I'll be really curious to see like where this is all going He could be sitting there in reflection, right? Look, in his home, maybe, or in his space. Like, here's his little mask on, though. I find that interesting. Reflecting, maybe thinking like the worst is behind me. Like, I've gone through all these trials and tribulations. Maybe this is a test for him. Ooh, 5 of Swords, though. 5 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles at the bottom. Very interesting. 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords would be like kind of like a little more than a trickster. This is pretty vicious. This is pretty much like being willing to win at all costs. This is conflict. Not really like good vibes around that 5 of Swords. Like, anger. 5 of Pentacles being taken away. We got the 5s. 5s are very, occult, having to do with the pentagram, all the elements and spirit coming together as one. No, spirit. Let's see. Do we need more tarot right now, or should we get some clarifying cards? Let's try and get some clarifying cards here. Holy Spirit, for Russell Brand, can you clarify? Okay. Ego death. Ego death is what I just pulled. Ego death. I want to say it fell right there out on top of the 9 of Wands. Very interesting. Ego death, huh? Okay. Epiphany at the bottom. But I want to shuffle a little bit more because I'm still seeing some of the same cards that I used earlier. So give me some clarity on the 10 of Pentacles here, Spirit, please. Hidden emotions. So this card is talking about something hidden, right? Hidden agenda is more what I'm getting. Less hidden emotions, more hidden agenda. Something hidden, though. Something hidden. Hidden emotions. There's definitely more beneath the surface that we're not fully seeing here. In regard to Russell Brand. Push and pull energy. Push and pull energy. Back and forth. Back and forth. Grifting. Standing on one side or the other. A lot of people have kind of come out to say like they feel like he is this controlled opposition, maybe grifting off of religion, maybe grifting off of people who follow and worship, Jesus or the Christians or whoever. Like, give me clarity on this 3 of Swords here, please, for Russell Brand. Spirit, please. Good luck in reverse could kind of be like talking about like it's your turn to like receive. Like, it could be that it's his turn to receive this humiliation ritual, and so he might really blow up after this is kind of what I've been getting lately. Like, he might actually, wow, there we have Dark Night of the Soul. He might actually become a lot more famous through all of this, and who knows, maybe, I'm just not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. How can I say that? I need to trust my own intuition. That's what's been coming through lately. I am sure, you guys. Like, I'm not gonna say 100%. I'll leave it up to you all to make up your own minds. But I know what all this symbolism means. Like, I know it's not a coincidence. There are not coincidences. No, everything that you see in the media, even on YouTube, not right here, right now, you can tell that I'm just a regular old Joe Jean Schmo. No one cares. But people like Russell Brand, you got 7 million followers. That's powerful influence. There's more going on behind the scenes here, okay? I do see Dark Night of the Soul, though. So we have both Ego Death and Dark Night of the Soul. That one was popping up on the Hierophant. Perhaps he has had karmic lesson. Ooh, but with that 3 of Swords, karmic lesson. This is a karmic lesson for him. A huge lesson is coming through for him right now. Like, I don't know exactly what this is because it's very, very hard to tell. However, if Russell Brand is indeed a Freemason, as he exhibits these kind of, I guess I'll just say traits of like potentially like psychopathic traits, his history with women, it really wasn't that long ago. the truth about narcissists and how hard it is for them to change, how psychopaths use emotional empathy to essentially and intelligence to essentially trick their victims, right? And how they might feel victorious over doing something like that. Karmic lesson, though. There's some kind of karmic lesson coming through. Like, I'm almost wondering if these cards are indicating that he's gone through a change. And but it's like, it doesn't matter if you think you've changed. It's not up to you to decide like how the scales balance. It's up to the universe to decide. It's up to Ma'at, the sacred scales of God, of the universe, to rebalance whatever might be out of balance here. So if it is that he's learning a karmic lesson and he has changed, that you can't get away from the consequences. But there is the opposite possibility that like he's playing a role and it's controlled opposition, and it's a lot of people are falling for it. They're falling for exactly what the puppet masters behind all of this want you to fall for. And they want you to focus on dumb things like politics and the left and the right. But that is not the most important thing here. The most important thing is that our world is being run by dark forces that we don't fully understand, and that humanity isn't quite honestly ready to acknowledge fully yet. And that's why you still have people calling critical thinkers conspiracy theorists, because I mean, y'all just ain't ready for the truth. Y'all can't handle the truth. If you're here right now, you probably can, and you probably already do know the truth. Maybe you don't fully know, but there's a lot more to everything than what you. And here's an interesting thing. Check this out. So I told you Russell Brand based his he out of his mouth. He said this. He based his character of the two tricksters, Pied Piper of Hamelin, on the Droogs from Stanley Kubrick's A Clock. Also did the movie, or he did Eyes Wide Shut. That's Stanley Kubrick. I don't know if you guys have seen Eyes Wide Shut. Sorry, I'm trying to change the layout. Shit is going so slow. I don't know if you've seen Eyes Wide Shut, but I'll read to you what this says about it. So the 33rd degrees of Eyes Wide Shut. So he based his character of his little kid's book, calls himself a trickster, first of all, like the character, and then based it off Red Rummers from a Masonic story. I can't, you like, it's just too obvious. And for anyone that's lazy to put the I guess I can't fully see right now, like whether he's changed or not. Well, it might do a little bit more tarot. But the 33rd degrees of Eyes Wide Shut introduction. Since its 1999 release, sorry, Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. Don't do that now. I'm doing this already. Too late, Lord. Like, I don't care. We have hiccups, bumps on. We're getting this done no matter what. I don't care. And I'm not going to delete it this time. It's just going to stay no matter how maybe imperfect that it is. We'll just accept sometimes things as they are, right? Since it's 1999 release, and then I'm done with this, and then we'll do another one pretty soon on weather warfare and weather modification. That's going to be the next one that I want to do. And I'll do that this weekend. Since its 1999 release, Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut has been evaluated as a dissection of marriage and modern sexual relationships, a subtextual critique of consumer capitalism, an indictment of hierarchical class structures, and much more. At its functional surface level, is typically graded as a sort of Rube Goldberg machine built out of dream logic vignettes for use as a psychometric tool on the audience. True, Eyes Wide Shut is all of those things, but this is not one of those analyses. As much as I love Kubrick, the social commentator, he has been given his huge due for many years, and there's little left for me to say about him. No, it is Kubrick, the codemaker, who interests me here. For over 2 decades, fans of the film who choose to take it at anything more than face value have been transfixed by its layered complexity. If you're like me, you'd be looking at stuff like that, like, oh, the symbolism. Let's do a year's worth of research. A nebulous network of double meanings, multi-purpose metaphors, and hidden symmetrical concepts. A subterranean labyrinth of symbolism and veiled intertextual references that seem to number in the hundreds. It is a fertile petri dish for conspiracy theory that perpetually walks the line of ambiguity, keeping those who try to decode it left in the dark. You just have to look into the sacred mysteries and all the mythology and stuff like that, and then you can start seeing. This guide is for those fans. It is not an introductory companion to Eyes Wide Shut if you are newer to the films. It will be harder to make sense, but let's see here. At its heart, Eyes Wide Shut is a cipher with a key, and that key is the 33rd degrees of the Scottish Rite. And if you get the book Morals and Dogma, if you can obtain the book somehow, if you can obtain the book Morals and Dogma, there all of the levels of Freemasonry are in that book. I don't know if the 33rd degree is, but I think it might be. It probably should be. It's a Freemason book. It says that if you do not return this book upon if you don't return it, like, I don't know, something bad will happen to you is what it says in the book. It's kind of crazy. So it does go through all the degrees and all the levels though, and I do have that book. And I don't know where it might be over there. Let me go look. I'll look in a minute. At its heart, Eyes Wide Shut is a cipher with a key. So it's basically a key that deciphers the 33rd degrees of the Scottish Rite. Really interesting. I believe that. This says the degrees of the Scottish Rite are one-act plays. See, I'm telling you, they used to conduct the sacred mysteries way back in the day, like in Grecian times and in ancient Egypt and all these different times of antiquity. They did these plays, right, for the public. Anyone could watch, but they were actually like the secret brotherhoods playing out the sacred mysteries. You just wouldn't know exactly that that's what it was, because everything even back then was a little bit secretive. If you weren't in the club, like, you weren't allowed to know. But that's why Socrates decided never to get indicted. Not indicted. I'm tired. I work today too, you guys, so bear with me. To get initiated. My bad. But I think Russell Brand is potentially initiated, but maybe he's come out of that. Like, maybe he's disconnected from Hollywood, and that is why they're coming after him. I would like to believe that that's true. But I think once you get in this club, like I've mentioned before, I don't really think you're getting out of it, especially when you're in a 33rd degree. You're kind of a master. He's a trickster. So that's part of his job, right? Is to sway the public in whatever direction suits the masters. The degrees of the Scottish Rite are one-act plays often staged with costume, scenery, special effects, and the full rigging of any production. Their purpose is to examine different philosophies, ancient religions, and systems of ethics. Through all of these, people have tried to answer certain universal questions. The degrees of the Rite do not tell a person what he should think about these questions. Instead, they tell him about what great thinkers and civilizations of the past have thought, and they try to create a situation in which the candidate, remember the candidate's robe that we were looking at with the Freemason garb that Russell was wearing on tour, what great thinkers and civilizations of the past have thought. They try to create a situation in which the candidate or brother can gain insight. Agreeing with Socrates that the unexamined life is not worth living, the Rite helps with this self-examination by providing reference points. Well, Socrates did realize at one point the unexamined life is not worth living. So living a life where you don't actually look into the deeper meaning of life is just simply not worth living. And I 100% agree with that. If you have to break away from all things that keep you from finding deeper truth in life, then you do that. But it is what it is. So this says, in the Scottish Rite Freemasonry, a Mason progresses through 33 honorary stages or degrees awarded to him throughout his career with the fraternity. Each degree is associated with a set of moral and philosophical precepts or lessons. When the Mason is inducted into a degree, he is presented a ceremonial Masonic apron, which bears colors and symbols associated with that degree. An apron, huh? Could this robe that Russell's wearing in the picture I showed you earlier be like an apron? It is kind of like an apron. It does hang down in front of you, like especially if you close it off with the little sash. But I wonder if he's ever been wearing an apron. Does he wear like a kilt or an apron? The Scottish Rite Code in Eyes Wide Shut is far more encompassing than I anticipated when I started to uncover it. I'm still piecing many of the details together with your help, and I'm perpetually updating this site, but I believe I have enough objectives evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt that this code was deliberately included by Kubrick for reasons that should become obvious. So it says the outline of Eyes Wide Shut cipher is that from the beginning of the film until the end, Bill Harford, Tom Cruise, traverses all 33rd of the degrees of the Scottish Rite. He witnesses all these different things, right? Like, yeah, it all represents the different degrees. So at one point he's like, he really doesn't know. He's just curious, right? And he doesn't get to know. And they're like kind of playing games with him as he's like figuring out more as he goes. He kind of eventually finds himself in the deep inner workings of Masonic ceremony. And it's kind of like at the highest degree, there's sacrifice and things like that. So it's really interesting. I'd watch Eyes Wide Shut with a different set of eyes at this point. I don't want to watch it again. So this is why the narrative is broken up into a sequence, of vignettes. It's a 32-act structure ending at 33, where the educative associations of each degree are encountered in mostly chronological order. So in the end, you learn that like Tom Cruise, I won't spoil it actually for you. Tom Hanks, fuck no. He is probably a Mason too, though, actually. And there's some dark stuff about him that I will not get into in this video. So I won't give it up for you guys, for those of you that haven't seen it, but go watch it. So much Masonic symbolism, and apparently now you'll look at it a little differently when you realize it could be actually showing you in a very small way, very as above, so below, very microcosm, macrocosm, the smaller version of the larger mystery that's playing out, because that's how they do it, like I said. So also lining up according to the lodges, Blue Lodge 1 to 3 degrees, the Lodge of Perfection 4 to 14 degrees, the Chapter of the Rose Croix, the Rose Cross 15 to 18 degrees, Council of Kadosh 19 to 29, and then you have the consistory degrees 30 to 32, the final degree 33 degrees, Sovereign Grand Inspector General. There's other names for it too, like they have Egyptian names and stuff too, like something, I don't know, they call them like Prince this, or yeah, it's all like that. So that's all I'm going to get into about that. I guess that kind of does bring it around again full circle, that there's just a whole lot more going on that isn't visible to the surface. But we do have Karmic Lesson, Dark Night of the Soul, Ego Death, some interesting cards coming through. We do have Hidden Emotions, we have Masonic symbolism, we have a little bit of a victim mentality coming through here, but we do have third party energy. We have third parties popping up from the past, creating problems for him, right? We have him feeling like the worst could be behind him. He's fought a lot of battles. Maybe he has been through a lot of things that could be representing his problems with addiction and substance abuse. This 5 of Swords, though, kind of gives me energy of, yeah, maybe somebody who is lacking in empathy. That's what 5 of Swords could really be, lacking in empathy. This could be somebody that actually might have a little bit more of a cruel side to them. So, like, I'm not making up my mind either way. I'll just throw the symbolism out there for you guys. You can make up your own mind. I have my own feelings about things. I think you already know. We already know. That's pretty much mostly all I have for now on this one. Just really wanted to get this done and be like, okay, we're done. We're done with this now, and I'll make another video about it in the future. But I really do think that this whole story is actually geared at distracting us from something much bigger. And I don't want to be like that kind of person that is just like falling for just taking the bait, right? Like, don't just take the bait. Don't just believe what you see, and don't just think, oh, somebody's so charming. Yeah, oh, my ex is super charming, but you do not see me running back into his arms again. No, okay, as seductive as these ones can be, apparently those that don't feel empathy and because they don't feel anxiety either. If they don't feel empathy, psychopaths also are categorized by this lack of, it's kind of a lack of, they're not stimulated by the same things that a normal person is. So the way that Russell Brand would have to engage in always escalating intense sexual activity and drugs and all these different things, like he was always seeking, yeah, like you're always seeking to feel something because you're unable essentially to feel intensely at all. Like, so you keep seeking more and more and more to be able to feel even just a little bit. But through meditation, maybe he's healed himself. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Like I said, I think to get out of that club, though, like it says in Eyes Wide Shut, in the end, like you probably got, like, you ain't getting out that club unless you DEAD. You know what I'm saying? So once you a 33rd degree, baby, you in that shit until you DEAD. Don't come for me. Okay. I'm just telling a story here. We're just looking at, oh yeah, but I don't know, the association with Jimmy Seville and all that stuff, and it wasn't that long ago. Like, I know how these people operate. They're satanic, okay? I'm sorry, but the Freemasons are like satanic, and they really don't actually worship the same God as probably you and I. Although maybe they do, but they have this ego about it where they think that they think, I don't know, it's a little distorted, their vision of what their role in the whole big picture and God is. Like, they think that they supersede God and that they have the ability to basically do whatever they want on this dimension because they're becoming gods, through these levels of expanding their consciousness. But really, you're also taking on a lot of karma onto your soul, and you're potentially throwing things off balance that are, you're throwing the divine balance off balance when you take that type of mentality. So it's better to be more humble and think like, okay, I get that I do have power to create. I am a creator, right? But I don't supersede God. I'm not the creator of the universe and the destroyer of the universe. I'm not the one pulling all the strings. No, like, you are subject to the laws of, you're subject to the higher laws as well. You Freemasons. So men get this idea, like I said, they get this egoic idea that they're the masters of the universe. I'm sorry if there's any men watching. I love you guys. I love you healed men out there that don't have this idea that you're the master of the universe and, you can do whatever you want because you supersede the most high. No, you don't. Like, I haven't seen a whole lot of empathy in him. Like I've said, I kind of want to see you cry, Russell Brand, sometime. I would love to just see you like actually like shed some real tears and just like to really cry, like I think it's refreshing to see people actually show emotion. So I don't know. I'd like to see some real empathy come out of him. He hasn't even said anything, I don't think, and since the allegations have come out, right? Has he? He hasn't really said anything, decided to still go on tour on his 33 tour. That's kind of odd. You cry tears. Like, I'm sorry, like I've changed, like, he doesn't even try to make maybe crocodile tears. I don't know, but maybe there's no tears in there to be had. So that's it for now. This is going on. We've got an hour and 28 minutes. No, we did pretty good. Did pretty good. I love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. Wasn't my smoothest live, but hey, it is what it is. We got it out there. I think the message I wanted to convey was conveyed without having to like play anyone else's videos or anything like that. So I love you guys. Until next time, hit the like button if you like this live. I think and be free. That's what I tell you. Like, don't indoctrinate yourself in any kind of way. Don't take false idols. Don't listen to anything just because someone says that it's the truth. Any master that I follow in life is gonna tell me to think for myself and to be trusting my own inner compass and my own inner torch and my own inner light, right? So that's what I'm here to tell you guys. I don't care. I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but it's okay. I don't claim to be a Christian, or I don't claim to be a religious person. If I'm Christian, I'm mystic Christian, and I'm way more about the mystical side of things. And Jesus is definitely the homie. And I 100% know that he was real and did walk this earth, and he did miraculous and amazing things. And he demonstrated the power of God to people. And he was a walking, he was a teacher who wanted us all to know that we're all children of God. He never wanted to be worshipped as God. He always wanted everyone to know that we are all children of God, right? Like, and we're not God. So that's antichrist thinking. Don't go down that lane. I do agree. Don't get microchipped, and yes, stay free. That's what Russell Brand says. Lord, no. I always say think and be free. And I'm hoping for the best in this situation. Maybe the media is just trying to tear him down. But I know what I be seeing, and I know y'all be seeing what you see too. So until next time, I'm the Spiritual Genie. That is all I got. My voice is starting to hurt from talking too much. I've exhausted my vocal cords. Thank you. And as always, you guys are the best. I appreciate you guys, my tribe, my vibe. For anyone that's new, welcome. Consider becoming the tribe, part of the tribe. Sleepy Genie out. Love you guys. Bye. Catch me very soon. I'll be doing one on weather warfare and weather modification around the globe that's happening at this time, because I really think that's a little bit more important. We'll get back to possibly covering what's going on in Maui and get an update about that, because I really think that that's kind of probably what's trying to be hidden from the mainstream, from our focus, right? Why are you trying to make me look over here, y'all? Sleight of hand. Woo.